Hey guys, I was going to make a quick video. I say quick, I never make a quick video on a little project I decided to do, and it's making a sort of similar to a Packtenna, a DIY Packtenna, and I've liked the Packtennas. You see them on several channels. My good friend Tom over on Anything with Wheels, ham radio call sign November 9 Yankee Oscar, has one, and he's used it a lot and had a lot of success with it. But I just didn't want to spend the money for yet another wire antenna when I've got so many of them and I can make them. So I already had a 9-to-1 un, and this is what the Packtenna uses. And the Packtenna has it's got like an X-shaped metal bit. Now it's very nice. It's nice. It's like it's very well made, machined aluminum. It's got connectors, miniature banana connectors on the board itself, and so you can connect different directions and make it and use different formats for the antenna. And this one, if I can get it open here, so this one has the 9-to-1 un right inside, as you can see, and it's very well made. The guy did a good job. I think it's 20 bucks I paid for this. And you know, I know I could have made it a lot cheaper, but I really didn't want to have to order all these different parts. It's got a BNC connector on the bottom. It's got a connection for a counterpoise and a connection for your radiating element. And inside he even wrote that it is a 9-to-1 un, and that's its call sign, Kilo Kilo 4 Yankee Mike India. And 9-to-1 is rated for 20 watts, which is perfect for QRP Portable type stuff. And so I decided, I did some sketching, and I'm not an artist. I got some graph paper, and my little design looks like some little alien dude. This is the template. Finally, I cut out a cardboard template for it. I think I'm zoomed in just a little too much. Let me back out. So my idea is to cut, I got a piece of plastic right here. I think this is about an 1/8 inch. I think it's ABS. And so I cut this template out. It's going to be shaped like this. And my idea is I'm going to epoxy this to that plastic, just like that. So I can get to the connector, the BNC connector. I can get to this radiating element and to the counterpoise. And I also have a trail friendly, an LNR Trail Friendly antenna, which is a 10, 20, 40 meter antenna, and it's in an X shape like this, just this top part, and it's got some other things on it, but this is cut this way so you can wrap the radiator in a figure 8 so it doesn't get twisted, and I can still get to this, and I can still get to the BNC connector as well. And I got some good epoxy. I think I can get that epoxy to that plastic really easily. And I was going to put like a 1/4 inch hole here and a 1/4 inch hole here for tie-offs. I could put a 1/4 inch hole here and here for a tie-off. And I was going to put 3 small holes. I bought some really small wire. Some I think it's 24 gauge wire, and or 26. I think it's 26 gauge. It's really thin. And I could put 3 holes down through here, and I can weave the radiator element through there and connect it here, and that'll provide some serious strain relief, and I won't have to worry about it pulling it off the connector. And I could do the same thing for the counterpoise. And with the antenna, I figure I could wrap it around up here in a figure 8, and if I use a counterpoise, I can wrap it around one side of this, or I could also wrap it up around all there, either way. So that's my project, and I'm going to get started here. I've already traced the template on this piece of plastic, and I'm going to use my wife's scroll saw to hopefully cut it out and get started with finishing it up a little bit. So let me go. It's hard to see what I've sketched on here, so I might have to hover over this. Well, I kind of screwed that little tip up right there, but yeah, I kind of got this a little close, but it's okay. Most of the wire is going to be up here, and if it doesn't hold the wire, I'll redo it. So now I'll just get some a wrench and clean up these edges real quick. So I normally have a cheap little flat metal wrench that I use specifically for this kind of stuff. Alright, so this little flat, I don't even know what it goes to. It probably came with some piece of furniture. And I just run the edge up it like that. And it gets those little shavings right off of there. And it also gets, it's not quite a deburring tool, but it's it'll do pretty good. Get the sharp edges off. Just want to clean it up a little bit. So I kind of messed this leg up right here. And kind of like got in a weird shape right in there, but that scroll saw is hard to control. If you've never used one, and this is probably not the top of the line, it means it does, it's good for craft projects and things like this. So I don't think that's going to be a problem, and I don't think this is going to be a problem. My project box with my unun in it. So basically I'll probably scuff this up a little bit, but it's going to go just like that. And that does not look exactly right, but yeah, it's not pretty. Not at all. But it's not about looks, it's about functionality. As long as I can get in there and put a BNC connector on and get to these connectors and get some strain relief going this way and this way, I should be golden. And so let me get started with the strain relief, I think. I don't know what size holes to drill, so it's pretty small ones, I'll tell you that. 1/4 inch will be more than enough. And really, since this is so off-centered anyway, I think I'm just going to eyeball the center of this. Well, that wood split pretty good, didn't it? And then I will eyeball, try to get it close to this side as well. Alright, well, I got that hole. And I might put one up here in the middle of this. This way I can put a bungee or a rope and tie it off, and or up here as well. Depends on what I'm doing. Got those done. I have some smaller holes to drill for the strain relief for the radiating element and the counterpoise. And I mean, that is some small gauge too, so I think this is a 1/16 of an inch drill bit. This is going to sit like that. So I want the strain relief to come on here, here, and probably here, so I'll eyeball that too. Like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect with this, so. Put one there. And put another one here. And I put the other one way down here. Alright, and I'll repeat that for the other side. Now this is some wire I got from Soda Beams. So you basically just run the wire, through here. Then you run it through this one. Then you run it through this one. Like so. And then this is not going to pull that wire out of there. It just isn't. And then when you have the unun on here, you have whatever connector you want to use. I might just strip the wire and tin it, and because it's not going to be coming on and off. And as you can see, this unun has a hole right there that I can run the tinned wire through and crimp it. Or I might just put a circle ring connector on there and make it a little bit more permanent. We'll see. So yeah, I think that'll work just fine for the strain relief. And it may not be pretty, but I think it's going to work out. And so now I'm going to probably sand this a little bit and scuff it up pretty good, and see if I can get the epoxy to stick. So I'm going to give it a brushed finish as well. These little sanding sponges come in so handy. I think I got a bunch of these, a pack of these at Ollie's or somewhere on the cheap, you know. I'll spray it off with my favorite electronics cleaner to get all the grease and anything else off of it. I'll do that over here in the sink. That also washed away any dust from when I was sanding it off. So I'll put that right there. Now this is tricky because it's kind of recessed right here, but I think if I put enough epoxy in there, it'll hold it. It should hold it pretty good, and I'll scuff this up too. I actually mixed my epoxy right here on top of my vise, and I was scraping most of the old stuff off with this razor blade knife. I ain't too worried about it right now. And the epoxy I'll be using is some Permatex 5-minute epoxy. That'll be more than 5 minutes because I definitely am going to have to put a lot on there. So, and I like this because you don't have to pre-mix. You just squirt out however much you think you'll need. I always back the syringe back up a little bit, and it comes with this nice cap to put back on there. That was pretty cool. Huh? Put it back up there, and I normally have a piece of a clothes hanger up here to mix it. I don't see it, so I'll use this sacrificial screwdriver, and you just mix that epoxy up real good there. Get it all mixed in. And I'll come over here and I'll bring my, so if I can get it in the focus here, I'll bring my kit in here and I'll put the epoxy on there as much as I can, dab it on. I need to get some in the middle, but I definitely need to get on the edges because the edges is where it's going to adhere to the raw antenna, is anything with wheels called it. Now this is probably going to make a mess when I stick it on there, but that's alright. Okay, so come back over here. Sorry to keep moving the camera on you guys. Alright, and I'll just set this right here and center that as best I can get it, like that. And I'll probably put a clamp on it to hold it. I won't get one of those. I have some furniture style clamps, but I think I'll just use one of these C clamps right here, and I'll just clamp that bad boy right there. Make sure it's still straight. Make sure that that's still there. Clearing that. Alright. I wonder if I can get another clamp on there. Just one more. Just one more over here. Alright, well that's a 5-minute epoxy, but we'll probably let it sit for more than 5 minutes. I will come back and report back to you guys once I get this thing adhered on here, and I'll get some antenna wire on it, and yeah, we'll see how it actually functions with the antenna with the radiator on there. So this is going to be a long video. I'm going to neck a lot of this down, so later on. Alright guys, so here's the finished product, and you can see the bead of epoxy I got around the edge of this thing. It's probably on there pretty good. I didn't try to pry it off, but there's not going to be any strain on this. So I was going to show you how to wind this up. As you can see, I cut 29 feet of this this wire, and this wire is really small, and it's got a really slippery jacket on it. It's really good stuff. I'll put a link to the description of where I bought this wire. So you basically just figure 8. Okay, let me get this on this hand. So you basically just figure 8 this wire, just like that, and it doesn't twist. I mean, it just doesn't. It's just like you would wind coax without making it twist up. I can keep this in frame, and there we go. And I got the strain relief holes. As you can see, the wires going through there. It comes out, and what I ended up doing was just stripping a bit of wire here, tinning it and running it through that hole that's right there on that stud and tightening it down. And on the other end, that's going to be going up into the tree or the pole. All I did was cut another piece of that ABS, right, and drilled 3 holes in it, and I just weaved that wire through there, and that's some really good strain relief on that side too. And I drilled another hole here and just put this real tiny carabiner so I can clip it onto whatever rope or line that I'm using to get it up over a tree, or if I'm using a pole or what have you. And it's really versatile. Now the LNR Trail Friendly antenna I have uses a very similar technique right here. And this is where I copied it from actually. So they have just a little It's a plastic. It's shaped like a bullet, and it's got the same 3 holes for weaving this through. It also makes it easy to trim, so you can trim a piece of this off and not have to solder or anything else. It's really convenient. I'm not sure how I'm going to completely stow this. I have some hook and loop that I can use. Yeah, there's a number of ways. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to stow this other than just rolling it up like that and leaving it as is. I mean, I have some hook and loop that I could wrap around right here, and think about it with me. I got entirely too much of it, and but yeah, I'm happy with it so far. I haven't tested it obviously, but what is there to test? You know, the wire, the unun is good. That plastic is not going to make it operate any different. So yeah, I can trim this Velcro up right here, and there we go. Although I might just leave it that long. I mean, this might be a good idea to for some kind of securing this to whatever I'm at when I'm operating. So yeah, there it is. It's not that big, fits in the palm of my hand. It's very light. I don't even know what it weighs, but so far I'm liking the design, and maybe I'll get out this weekend and try it out, and if I do, I'll definitely get a video of that. Maybe I'll get a video of me making contacts with it, because that'll be more believable, yes. Alright, well that's it. Hope y'all liked this video. If you got any questions on where I obtained any of this material, feel free to ask, and I'll share as much information as I can. So this plastic came from work. It was from the scrap bin at work, and I just brought a piece of it home. I might redo this at some point, because you know, even though it's unsightly how I didn't cut this properly, but that blade on that scroll saw, it'll roll on you a little bit, and you really can't see if you're cutting it straight, because it'll roll and you'll be cutting at an angle like this. But that's just user error. Most of it is, because I'm not a scroll saw person. But anyway, it turned out okay. I think these could be a little bit more angled down, not so much pointed up like this one is, because I kind of messed this side up too, and it was barely enough for that 29 feet of wire, but I didn't want to make it too big and bulky. But anyway, I'm happy with it, guys. Later on.